First at 11 tonight, we're following the latest on a story we first broke on WPRI.com yesterday. School threat investigation. Right now, police are still investigating the threat made against students in 3 communities.
And although they say there's no evidence the threat is credible, they're not taking any chances, and officers will remain at every school in Cranston, Johnston, and Warwick for the remainder of the week. And our team coverage continues at 11. Eyewitness News reporter Kelly Sullivan is standing by with a live report from Warwick. But first, we go out to Pliner live in Johnston.
Mike Shannon, good evening. A rare high level of cooperation between 3 cities and towns, all committed to protecting their school kids, all confident that students are safe tonight.
We're going to track every lead down to its conclusion, so we'll do our best effort, but I can't comment on the investigation at this time.
Simply that Wednesday from Cranston's newly christened police chief on a disturbing, detailed letter threatening physical harm against elementary school children in 3 communities: Johnston, Cranston, and Warwick. Eyewitness News has learned from investigators the letter is 1-page, handwritten, traditionally mailed, and now at the crime lab for processing. In it, Warwick's police chief confirms a reference to beheading. The FBI is also on the case.
We have had isolated threats to individual schools, but nothing citywide like this before.
Cranston superintendent of schools on how she broke the news district-wide.
We notified parents through a robocall, emails to our teachers, because communication is really important.
Police fanned out from school to school Wednesday, closely watching for anything out of the ordinary.
We have a lot of police officers, obviously over 30 across the city at each and every school. We've used some administrative personnel, some detectives that are in uniform.
Daily protocols change through week's end.
We will not let the kids go outside at recess, and they'll stay inside in the all-purpose room or the gym.
The police presence are also going to be not just for during the school days, but after school activities.
Lunston admits she hasn't slept well, but offered this reassurance as a grandmother.
I have 5 grandchildren, and I thought, what would I tell my son and daughter-in-law? And I would tell them to send them to school. We're going to have a good day.
Even so, Dr. Lunston tells us attendance in Cranston schools down roughly 1/3 today, mostly in the elementary schools, and as for the potential punishment for the person behind this threat, if law enforcement can in fact track that person down a year behind bars, certainly that is no consolation amid the tension this ordeal has caused. Live in Johnston tonight with the Northwest Mobile Newsroom, I'm Pliner, Eyewitness News.
And while there's no evidence yesterday's threat is credible, parents say it's still very unsettling for them and their children. And we spoke to parents tonight who are understandably concerned but are confident in police when it comes to their children's safety. Eyewitness News reporter Kelly Sullivan is live now from the West Bay Mobile Newsroom with more in-depth coverage.
Well, Warwick police officers are not only doing extra patrolling at the schools, but tonight we saw them at the complex on Ben Street, making sure that kids and parents remain safe at tonight's youth soccer games. On a clear Wednesday night, extra police presence could be seen at the Ben Street complex where several youth soccer games were underway.
I feel confident that I see the presence of the, the police enforcement, and it's a shameful kind of world that we have to live in today, but this is what it is. What forced the increased patrols was a chilling letter sent to Johnston police threatening to harm students at Johnston, Cranston, and Warwick schools. While several parents chose to keep their children home Wednesday, we caught up with many who still felt it was safe enough to send their kids to school.
You know, I want him to live his everyday life that he lives. I don't want to have to mess up with anything and have him get scared about anything, so I figured, why not send him?
Both kids went to school. We had a conversation with both last night explaining what the situation was, and just kept it high level and said that if you witness anything seems or looks out of place, to make sure you tell an adult.
At the soccer fields, the adults we spoke with were fully aware of the threat, but knew they needed to keep their kids positive and move forward.
I mean, this could go on all year, and, I can't keep my kid out of school all year.
While parents want their kids to continue with their regular routine, we learned some students had indoor recess and were sent home right after school as a result of the ongoing threat.
It's sad. It's sad that the world has to be like this, but, I'm hoping that they find someone. Maybe someone just did it for whatever reasons, I don't know.
Now, to err on the side of caution, the Warwick Firefighters Soccer Club and the Warwick Soccer Association will once again provide police detail for tomorrow night's games. Reporting live in Warwick with the West Bay Mobile Newsroom, Kelly Sullivan, Eyewitness News.
Count on Eyewitness News to bring you the latest information on air and online as we learn it. Our coverage of this story continues tomorrow on Eyewitness News this morning starting at 4:30. Plus, you can get updates 24/7 on WPRI.com.